Hi guys, Victoria here. Welcome to Victoria's clinic, and you are going to see today a beautiful aromatherapy back, neck and shoulders with my beautiful friend Jodi. Jodi, yes, she's a good friend. She also runs a very successful clinic in our local town, and we regularly do swaps on each other, so I'm very lucky to know her. She is going to be arriving shortly, so first of all I'm going to get the room ready, which you'll see, and then I'm going to go outside, have a quick pre-chat with her. We're going to put on our PPE, and then I'm going to give her this lovely aromatherapy back, neck and shoulders. Stick to the end to see how she feels afterwards. Okay, see you soon. Having prepared the couch and warmed some towels, I'm now ready to welcome Jodi. Jodi, welcome. You've had a long day at the clinic.
Very, very long day.
Yeah, and you're looking forward to a nice aromatherapy massage?
I really need it. It's had a very busy week, so
okay.
I'm quite tense on my shoulders as well.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'll look after you. So we're going to do a nice full body aromatherapy massage with a little facial at the end, and I'm going to check in with you occasionally, see how you are. And I look forward to giving you some nice essential oils. We're going to go in and work out which oils to give you.
Yeah.
So how are you? Anything you need to tell me?
I'm just, well, very tight on my shoulders, very tense I think, but it's just from all the hunching over and how I work, so I think just need a nice release, you know.
Okay, I'll do my best.
I'm excited.
Oh good, excellent. Okay, see you soon. While Jodi washes her hands and applies her mask, I then prepare myself with my visor and my mask, then take her temperature before she enters, and I check her muscle tests called kinesiology for tolerance of these essential oils. I've pre-chosen 3 essential oils, namely grapefruit, seaweed extract and rose. Each one beautiful for the skin in lots of different ways. Seaweed extract helps with skin conditioning. Grapefruit also helps with the skin, but also to relieve stress. And rose is beautiful for cell regeneration, reduce effects of aging, to minimise scarring for eczema and rosacea. Having removed one of the heated towels, I'm now applying some preheated sunflower and calendula carrier oil with the combined grapefruit, seaweed extract and rose essential oils, which are beautiful for skin conditioning, but also for treating with vitamins, because the sunflower carrier oil is just so beautiful for hydrating and nourishing the skin. This is going to be used on the whole body and to a certain extent a little on the face. So today, with the back, neck and shoulders treatment, I start off by just applying a good amount of this essential oil and carrier oil mix, and then I introduce my hands to the body, ask Jodi to take 3 nice long breaths, and with each breath I am separating my hands in order to lengthen the spine. This is so nice for the body on the couch to know how my hands feel, their warmth, the pressure that's going to be applied. It's a very good introduction. And now I start off with a figure of 8 massage, working around the scapula with my hands overlapping and mainly using my palms. So my palms are having a good feel of any tension in this area of the trapezius, the scapula, the deltoids, and I'm able to reassure, relax and relieve tension. And this is where the petrissage move of small circles always going upwards along each side of the spine and including the neck, which is the very top of the spine, of course, around the base of that occiput bone in the base of the scalp, and then upward pressure, but actually downward movement. So this is the trapezius, which is the muscle that goes from shoulder points to about the bra line in a triangle. And now I'm coming further down past the waist to the sacrum, and a beautiful flat hand effleurage circular move where you can see I'm encompassing the shoulders. So my palms are doing all the work here. The palms actually are the controller, and the fingers are just going where the palms are putting the pressure. Aromatherapy is actually a very gentle massage. The whole purpose is to get the essential oils onto the skin, which then absorb through the dermal layer and underneath into the blood circulation, and therefore transported all over the body. An aromatherapy massage, unlike a Swedish massage, will help in a very relaxing manner, where the person being treated does not have to consider any response or any unpredictability. It is simply a very relaxing, gentle and quite light-handed approach. Now I'm using my thumbs in another petrissage technique just around the edges and over the flat plateau of the sacrum. The sacrum is 5 of the lower vertebrae fused together to form a hard triangle. There's not much movement within the sacrum because they are fused together, and this means that toxins sit happily over that plateau for long periods unless they're agitated with massage, movement, stretching or yoga. And now a lovely technique where I'm overlapping my hands in order to encourage lymph and the circulation to move in an outward direction away from the spine, in between the ribs and out to the sides of the torso, where there will be lymph nodes waiting for any waste product within the lymph system, which could be things like uric and lactic acid, free radicals and other waste products. You'll notice now on Jodi's back that there are some red marks. This is a condition called skin writing, which is also referred to as dermatographic urticaria. And fortunately, there is no pain. Sometimes with some people that get it quite badly, there may be some itching. In Jodi's case, there is no itching on this occasion. It's simply the redness there, which can be raised on occasion, but normally is just a little rosy. Apparently about 2 to 5% of us have skin writing. I'm doing this lovely overlapping hand move here in order to encourage the lymph away. And now I'm doing another lymph move, which is the scissoring technique, in order to agitate any of the lymph on very much the surface just underneath that top dermal layer. And once I've agitated it with the scissoring technique, I then use my fingers in pretty much a straight line in order to push those lymph toxins away from the spine, via between the ribs and away to the lymph nodes on the edges. This has the effect of creating more flexibility, mobility, movement in the spine vertebra, the discs, and in the ribs. People having had this treatment often notice they're able to breathe more easily because the ribs aren't congested and restricted. They're able to expand more freely. Now coming round to Jodi's left hand side, doing the same scissoring technique along the length of the ribs. And now using my fingers in a long line to gently encourage the correct movement of lymph. This is so nice to receive. It's a very gentle technique. Most of the aromatherapy techniques are very gentle, and if you like, in the correct term of superficial, meaning they are on the surface of the skin, not necessarily going too deep, the way that Swedish massage would encourage with movements like petrissage and hacking and cupping. And now that lovely overlapping hand outward wave motion. Again, working quite lightly, because lymph always moves in a slow speed, always up the body, and lymph, because we're normally on our feet or normally the right way up, then lymph is easy to go down, for instance, to pool at our ankles and our feet, our lower legs. But it doesn't particularly like going back up to the heart. So this is a nice move that encourages upward movement. And now you can see here a full effleurage technique, again including the whole shoulder points, and now a nice squeezing technique at the waist, which is the oblique muscles. So with this technique I'm using whole palms together, separated, coming down and putting the full amount of my thenar muscle and wrist into the waist area. Again, always encouraging muscle relaxation and movement of lymph in the right direction. What we're after as therapists is for the back to warm through nicely. So that it should go nice and rosy, it should feel warm to the touch. Even though the skin is exposed, the back should feel nice and warm. And now I'm doing a nice technique into the pelvis area. So this is working on the sacrum, but also on the pelvis bones, which are the iliac, and into the edges of that sacrum, where there is a joint called the sacroiliac, and this is held together by ligaments, which I always see them as like sellotape. So they're holding the pelvis together on the outside of the bones and also internally within the pelvic structure. Now coming up to the very top of the head, the back and the neck. This is a beautiful maneuver in order to encourage the nervine system, which is the nervous system. So we're talking about the cerebral spinal fluid, which travels down the dural tube along the line of the spine. It comes all the way down to the sacrum and goes up all around the spine to the brain and back down again. And what this does is it's communicating and stimulating the nervous system in order to encourage correct communication of the nervous system to the immune system. And when that happens, we are in a state called neurologically organized, which is a most beautiful state to be in, because that's when our body is at its healthiest. So having stimulated the points either side of each vertebra with each breath, I'm now overlapping thumbs in a slow downwards maneuver down to the sacrum, again encouraging the correct speed and movement of the nervous system, which is actually the cerebral spinal fluid. And now slowly coming back up to the neck to do the same procedure on Jodi's right side. So, having treated the spine, the lymph, the ribs, I'm now looking at the right side of the nervous system travelling down the right side of the spine, connecting either side of each vertebra as I travel down from the neck down through the thoracic area of the spine, down to the lower ribs, and then as I continue about now, I'm just at the upper lumbar area around the waist. This is the kidney area here, either side of the spine. And all of these acupressure points will be helping to set communication lines and meridians working well, channeling down the whole length of Jodi's body and connecting with each system in turn. Having stimulated those points again, I'm now going to overlap the thumbs in order to create the correct direction of movement down the side of the spine, which is the most relaxing, relieving feeling for the person receiving this. It is just so gentle, therapeutic, and above all, the person on the couch just feels like they are being cared for. There is an extension of care that feels so therapeutic and nurtured. Having finished that technique, I then come up again to do a lovely effleurage. This is the go-to technique between every long other technique used, whether it's petrissage or the spinal technique used in the nervous system just now. Jodi, having told me that her shoulders had been tense all week working in the beauty clinic, I'm now concentrating on her left scapula. First of all, just getting a feel for any tension there, where they may feel strained or stuck. Then using my thumbs again to create an upward relieving muscle movement on the trapezius, and then working on the scapula itself. Now this is quite a flat, hard bone, just like the sacrum at the base of the spine. And I'm using my thumbs, first of all, to have a feel if there are any amount of lactic or uric acid, which can feel like little crystals under the skin. And if it was under the scapula, then the shoulder blade would feel stuck, like there wasn't any flexibility or movement. And then I use my knuckles on that flat of bone. I'm not working it too hard like you would with Swedish massage. This is quite gentle but still incredibly relieving. And then overlaid hands to wash away any lymph and waste products that were agitated with the petrissage. Using my thumbs again on the mid-trapezius as a connecting technique to come across to the right shoulder. And here I'm doing the same technique again. First of all, just sussing out exactly how the shoulder feels, where the tension may lie. And I'm using my overlaid whole hands again in order to feel and reassure Jodi that all is well. I'm creating warmth. It's very therapeutic. Once I've done that with my overlaid hands, I'm using my overlapping thumbs in a petrissage, always in contact with the body with my fingers as well. Scooping up and working away any toxins that are making the shoulder tight or painful. This is so relieving, getting rid of tension and allowing the body to accept and let go. Always working upwards towards the shoulder point and the armpit and all down the side of the body, and indeed into the chest itself. There are many lymph nodes, and as I like to call it, in the chest and in the groin, there are lymph factories that will wait for all waste products in order to get rid and recycle. Now this is one of my favourite techniques. This is an overlaid hand working from the shoulder point in the deltoid across and up the side and back of the neck. This is working with the sternocleidomastoid muscles around the neck, the deltoids in the shoulder points, the very top of the trapezius, and it reassures, warms and relaxes in a lovely way of soothing, relieving, allowing the client to completely melt into the couch. I'm really quite low down over the body now in order to create the correct direction and whole hand effect overlapping on Jodi's left shoulder. Once I feel that the shoulders have relaxed enough, I'm now concentrating on the neck. And I've definitely still got my palms connected with the upper trapezius, my thumbs each side of the neck, but I'm now using my whole fingers and finger points into the neck and the acupressure points that are located in the base of the occiput bone, at the base of the cranials. And I'm not working too firmly. I don't want to make Jodi tense at all, but I'm making sure that I'm relieving and contacting. I like to be able to reassure my clients that there is nothing to worry about. They are able to trust me and relax. So having contacted the central occiput acupressure point, I've now got my index finger and thumb on the ones either side, and then to the 4th and 5th acupressure points in the saddle joint behind the ear with both thumbs. Stimulating and contacting that acupressure point, which is definitely in tune with the whole rest of the body. And now this is a lovely maneuver to warm through. The speed is slightly faster here. This means the client knows that we may be coming to the end of the treatment. The massage has concentrated on the whole back at times, and sometimes different parts, the scapula, the thoracics, the lumbar, the pelvic region and the sacrum. And now finishing off with exactly the same treatment that I started, which is the palm widening at the spine, lengthening, contacting the whole spine 3 times. Jodi and I are definitely in tune with the energy right now. Such a beautiful sensation in the room. Having warmed Jodi through, and just one last contact. This towel has been heating on the radiator, and now I'm going to ask Jodi how she feels. Okay, Jodi, how are you feeling?
Very relaxed. I think I nodded off at one point.
Oh, fine. I think I felt you jerk awake at one point.
Yeah,
when I was lower down.
The oils were lovely, nice smells.
Yeah, rose, grapefruit and seaweed extract.
Very nice.
I don't think I've ever put those together before. It just seemed to work for you.
Yeah.
So, how are your shoulders feeling after that? Because you said that they were quite
I
tight.
can feel you've worked them, definitely.
Yeah. Well, I will be doing a bit more on them when you turn over. Okay, lovely. Hi guys, welcome back. I'm so excited to show you the next instalment of Jodi's aromatherapy massage. So last week you saw the back, neck and shoulders, and this week you're going to see the back of the legs, the feet and the front of the legs. This is a beautiful treatment, and you're going to see the lovely aromatherapy oils with the aromatherapy massage, and stick to the end to see how Jodi feels after her legs have been massaged. Okay, see you soon. So, having revealed one leg, I now apply the aromatherapy and carrier oil very lightly to the back of the leg, and then slow down as I start the actual massage. You'll see there that I encompassed Jodi's right arm with the towel. That's to reassure that it won't fall off the couch if she wanted to allow her arm to lie further away from her body. Now giving a soft massage to the underside of the foot while she's turned over. Normally I would actually treat the feet while she's lying on her back, but just while she's lying on her front is quite an easy, accessible way to reach the underside of the foot, using my knuckles on the pad and the heel and the in-between soft area, in reflexology terms, where the organs are contained, in order to help digestively, respiratory. Now starting the leg massage, introducing my hands and giving the leg a gentle tug in order to lengthen. What this does is it stops a bunching up on the hip while she's lying on her front, so that the hip and abdomen can lie more aligned on the couch. And now working both of my thumbs together, one behind the other in a cross pattern, up the back of the calf. There are two larger muscles here called the soleus and gastrocnemius, and between them they have the same point at the foot, but they actually separate further up. So what I do with my thumbs is try and find a gap between them, about there, halfway up the calf, in order to clear toxins from the calf. Having worked on the Achilles, the back of the heel. I now raise the lower leg in order to get gravity to help me allow circulation of the lymph and blood back up to the knee. The knee contains a lymph node, which is actually the furthest point to the extremity. We don't have lymph nodes down by our ankle or foot. Now this is called 3-finger stroking, and you'll see they're quite flat fingers, so I'm tuning into very soft lymph which lies very close to the surface of the skin, and it's a very gentle stroking, then using 2 hands to gently tug on the underside of the sit bone, and that just confirms to the lymph in order to scoop away any toxins that I'm scooping up with the massage. So it's like a communication, really. That's the main reason for aromatherapy massage, which is to encourage the effect of the essential oils into the skin and into the body, but also to encourage movement of lymph. And now, working on the back of the left leg, I do exactly the same actions as I was doing on the right. So you'll see brief repetition here as I'm just showing you short sections in order not to repeat the full back of the leg for you. Again, this is working on the Achilles, overlapping with 2 thumbs. That can be quite a tense area, so I'm always mindful to be sensitive and caring. Again, working up that gap between the gastrocnemius and the soleus muscles. I don't apply pressure until about halfway up, about there. Just shifting it, encouraging it in the correct direction. And then the 3-finger stroking, nice flat hands, working always upwards towards the heart. And then once I've reached the top of the thigh, I'm just finding that sit bone at the bottom of the pelvis to just give it a little communication that all is well and to get on with its job of clearing lymph. A little contact with the back, which just tells Jodi that I've finished that part of the massage. Allow her to turn over sensitively, covered up. Always correct use of towels, giving the client reassurance that they're covered up. And I always have contact with the edge of the towel firmly into the body so that the client knows exactly where the edge of the towel lies without having to open their eyes and look. And now continuing with the front of the body. So doing the first leg here. Again, introduction of the essential oil to the skin, that beautiful grapefruit, seaweed extract, and rose essential oils. So now, having introduced the oil, I'm now focusing on the massage. This is a lovely strengthening and clearing technique where my thumbs at first are just feeling their way as to what I find. This is each side of the tibia and fibula, the shin bones. Quite often people have different effects each side. Some may be smooth if they're young bones and haven't had any breakages. Some might feel a little rougher with knobbles, as if there may have been injury or illness to that area. So I'm always sensitive to bring relief and clear any tension from around the shin. This is a beautiful technique, overlapping thumbs each side of the knee on that muscle each side, because the lymph node sits behind the knee. So I'm always encouraging the correct direction, away from the joint towards the node. Now relieving tension around the bone itself. This is the patella that sits on the top of the knee. And you can see there I encouraged a little movement left to right, and then over the top of the flat bone of the patella. This feels really nice to receive. And now working on the thigh. So this is overlapping hands on the adductor muscle. Now the adductor, of course, is one of the quadriceps muscles. We have 4 layers of muscle in the front of the thigh. The adductor on the inside, which helps us to bring our leg inwards. This overlapping action follows the movement that the lymph takes, but also the muscle. So I'm working in the same direction as the muscle in order to relieve tension and spasm. Now on the outside of the leg, I'm moving much more firmly here for an aromatherapy massage, encouraging lymph back up into the groin area called the inguinal lymph, up into the pelvis. Now some knuckling on the outside. As this muscle is a very strong muscle and quite often can feel tense and needs relief with a good massage and essential oils. Having covered the leg, I'm now working on mobility for the ankle and foot. Always supporting underneath the joint while I'm creating flexibility with the other hand. Working on the top of the foot, on the metatarsal bones, and now sitting down in order to see exactly what I'm working with the underside of the foot. The foot pad in reflexology terms contains the lungs. Now working on the lung right there and into the soft tissue, into the shoulders there, creating movement in a clockwise fashion on the solar plexus and down over the digestive, and then round the shoulder point, down the outside of the foot over the joints, over the heel, and back up the spine on the inside edge of the foot to the neck, around into the head, so that's the glands and the brain, over the eye and respiratory centres, the sinuses, and down into the outside of the foot again. You see the foot does bend and rotate as I'm working on it. This encourages to clear tension. Our feet don't get enough relief and attention from us, so it's really nice to really focus on them occasionally. It's very relaxing to have your foot massaged, whether it's in a foot massage or reflexology. And again, focusing on the solar plexus, just tuning in and helping with the energy levels after Jodi's busy day at the clinic. And continuing with some mobility. So first of all, into the big toe, working on all of the joints. So that's the base of the big toe, which would be the neck, and then each of the joints working into the metatarsals of each toe individually. And the toes don't just have one joint, they have possibly two, depending on the length of the toe. You can see here I'm working not only on the base, but also halfway up where there is a second joint. All of these joints are working for us all the time with our balance and movement. And finishing off with a beautiful flicking movement to encourage energy to dissipate that may have stored up in the feet, as it does store up in all of our extremities. A reassuring, overlapping upward massage up the ankle, and finishing by covering up, reassuring and connecting. Having revealed the right leg, I'm now going to copy similar moves that I created on the left side, and I'll be showing you these moves a little more briefly as they are repetitions from the other side. So having introduced those beautiful essential oils, I'm now working strongly up the front of the shin, feeling constantly as I go. So I'm always looking for any issues, congestion and tension. This feels nice to receive up each side of those shin bones, this time working with fingers instead of thumbs. Around the ankle, and now the knee, overlapping that beautiful muscle relieving feeling, getting rid of any tension around that strong muscle on the inside to the back of the knee, and now into the knee joint itself, around the patella, underneath it, to the sides, up into the muscle underneath. There are plenty of ligaments, tendons, obviously the bursas as well. A lot of action, and of course the lymph node that sits at the back of the knee. All of these areas need to be stimulated and relieved. Working in overlapping hands, firmly and sensitively in the same direction as the lymph and the muscle. On the inside of the thigh, over the top of the thigh, which is a nice strong set of muscles here. Slowing down to connect with the speed of the lymph, connecting with the whole leg again, and then back up into the thigh and out on that outer side again, where the abductor muscle sits. And the reason I bring the knee up slightly is to encourage the leg not to sit in a lock position. Working on the ankle again. Rotations, always supporting underneath. Not just supporting, but also feeling all the time, especially when I'm rotating with one hand, to check to see if there's any clicks and crunches within the joint while I'm rotating with the other hand. Working each side of those metatarsal bones up the edges of the foot and now into each toe individually. Again, working each joint, so that was the lower and then the middle of those knuckles within the toes, the second and third, fourth toes, nice circles, and that lovely end joint there, relieving any tension, and then the little toe, massaging, rotating in both directions, and then working on those flick technique to bring out the tension, always connecting but relieving at the same time. And getting down to the level of the foot, always using thumbs. My thumbs are a way of finding out what tension there is as well as treating. It's a dual approach. Relieving tension within the lungs, solar plexus, digestion, and upwards. Spreading the upper ball to stretch it out. Our feet work so hard for us, and Jodi does spend long hours standing on her feet, so it's so nice to have this done. Finally connecting with the solar plexus point and covering up, ready to ask Jodi how she feels. So Jodi, just checking in with you. How are you feeling after your legs massage?
Very, very lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, all okay?
Yeah.
You still awake?
Yeah, just about.
Just about.
Yeah.
On and off.
On and off.
That's all
Drifting
right.
off.
Okay. So I'm going to be massaging your tummy and arms and shoulders now.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Victoria here. So welcome back. You've now seen Jodi's back, neck and shoulders aromatherapy massage. You then saw the legs massage, and today you're going to be in the clinic with me as I massage the abdomen, the arms, hands and wrists, the top of the shoulders, across the clavicle, and also into the neck, and a nice neck release. So stick to the end to see how Jodi feels after that. Okay, thanks for joining. And as I apply the essential oil of grapefruit, seaweed extract, and rose, the aromatherapy oils are mixed with a lovely organic sunflower oil and a little calendula. So the abdomen can be quite sensitive, so I always extend care here and being aware of the sensitivity of the nerves and the skin in the stomach area. So this is a very light effleurage without that feeling of being tickled. It's really essential to not induce any feeling of nervousness or sensation of too light a touch. An aromatherapy massage is generally a light touch anyway, so there is a fine line. And now I'm following the direction of the large colon, which is an upside down horseshoe from the lower left hand area, if we're looking at the abdomen in this fashion, up, across and down. Once I've used both hands in that direction, then use one hand a little bit more firmly, and now the two-hand overlapping directional massage, mainly using flat fingers and palms. So this is always in the same direction, going up, across and down, and as my hands travel over the lower abdomen, I reduce the weight of my hands so that they are very light indeed over the lower abdomen, where the reproductive organs and the bladder are found. The overlapping side gesture is so nice to receive because it's an upward, relieving those muscles of the obliques in the side of the abdominal cavity. This is beautiful as well to have done. Overlapping hands, and they actually come off, lift away from the abdomen. And the reason this is nice is where the upper central abdomen is the solar plexus, which contains a Chinese meridian point, which we refer to as the AP, the anxiety point. It is somewhere that can feel full of tension, and it is so nice to have that lifted, almost like our troubles and cares are being lifted away. And now I'm focusing on a few key meridian points. These are acupressure. And once I've focused on them 2 or 3 times in a sequence, I then do another couple of effleurage and then lift off very gently, always mindful of the sensitivity of the abdomen. And having replaced the warmed towels and the extra sheet over the top, giving Jodi some extra warmth for all the areas now massaged. So that's the legs, the abdomen and the hips. I'm now focusing on the arms. Having removed the edge of the towel, always sensitive to keep Jodi covered up in areas I'm not massaging, I first of all introduce the essential oils in a nice long effleurage, and then place one hand on the opposite shoulder while I use my flat palm to circle the elbow. In many people, the elbows can feel quite rough and full of tension, and so this circling is really nice to receive. I then focus on the bicep and tricep muscles, the front and back of the upper arm before replacing the towel and using my thumbs on the forearm. Forearms are used greatly in life, and so this fairly firm massage, always applying pressure upwards towards the elbow where the lymph node is contained behind the elbow, then this helps the directional flow of lymph and circulation, also relieving any muscle tension and strain from the lower arm. And now, using a rotational movement, always supporting and holding at the joint, meanwhile rotating with the other hand. Now I'm using both thumbs symmetrically to work upwards in between the metatarsal bones of the hand, and now focusing on each digit individually and then each knuckle individually. Also a massage and a little pull. And the next finger, the index finger, massaging up and down, rotating one way and the other before supporting, rotating into the second joint, massage again. Now on to the middle finger, exactly the same again, massage, a rotation, rotating both ways. I'm always looking for areas of tension or that might be catching. This is a feeling that might be produced from things like arthritis or repetitive strain injury, any issue in the hands from previous injury or breakages that I'm always looking for in order to bring more relief and get rid of tension. And a nice stretch on that finger. And then finally into the little finger, working into the joint at the base of the finger, and then the knuckle halfway up the little finger. Another massage, and a lovely palm massage where I insert my little fingers into the gaps of the hand between the thumb and index and the little finger and ring finger. Meanwhile, stretch open the palm and overlap my thumbs for a beautiful solar plexus massage. Up the hand, the wrist, finally into the forearm, and a gentle pull on the arm, and that relocates the shoulder onto the couch in order to lengthen and restore. And now working on the left arm, applying some of those beautiful essential oils that just smell divine. They'll be helping bring skin conditioning and stress relief, meanwhile helping relax and revitalize. First of all, some nice strong massage up the arm, always the strength going up to the heart. And then the same techniques from the other side, using my palm in a circling movement over that elbow. And down the bicep to the deltoid, and then into the tricep. Having replaced the upper arm and the towel to keep Jodi warm, I use my thumbs in this action on the forearm, and this creates the effect of Jodi's fingers, thumb and hand being stimulated and turning inwards as I push. This really shows me that she's relaxing into the movement and her forearm is benefiting. A nice circling of the whole hand into the wrist, replacing the towels, and then working my thumbs in a dual pétrissage movement around the wrist, which has just been circled, and then up into those metatarsals. We can hold a lot of tension and lactic acid, uric acid and crystals in this area, so it's so beautiful to have massaged, relieved, rotated. I normally find, depending on handedness, that the fingers can hold a lot of tension and into the palm and into the thenar muscle of the hand. Generally, obviously, that will be most people's right hands, and sometimes I'll feel that into the left, depending on their way of working and how much they use their right or left hand. Now into those knuckles, a massage, a stretch and a little flick. The flicks, like I did on the toes in the previous video's massage of the legs, will help with dispersing energy that can be stored up in the extremities, therefore in the feet, the hands and the scalp and face. And now for that beautiful relieving massage up into the palm, which is the solar plexus point, into those bones of the wrist, always upward, overlapping and circling. Finishing off on the forearm and a gentle pull before replacing and covering up to keep warm under the towels. And here we are, now applying oil along the clavicle, under the neck and round the shoulders. I always make sure I've got enough oil that it feels ready for a massage without feeling that there's going to be too much friction, but not too much oil that it will feel greasy or like the oil might pool. So very gently touching over the clavicle bone, alternating one hand and then the other with a gentle neck pull. This is just my way of introducing my hands to this area that has not been touched or massaged in this treatment yet. Once I've introduced with the effleurage, I then use my knuckles in a beautiful symmetrical technique expanding, widening my hands away from each other. This really helps with the lungs, the respiratory system, and we make sure that we introduce a good amount of pressure there, and that will help us breathe more deeply. Quite often we breathe quite shallowly without realizing. So join me in taking a nice long breath right now. Now I'm using my fingers for a raindrop effect, fingers together and then fingers separated. A beautiful tapping over the breastbone, the clavicle, around the shoulders, stimulating the lungs, stimulating the skin, finishing with a lovely effleurage and turning the head. I'm using one hand to support the head and the other to effleurage around the whole shoulder, and then using my knuckles for that lovely petrissage knuckling effect around the whole shoulder bone, the top of the femur, round the trapezius, the deltoid, into the neck muscle called the sternocleidomastoid. And you see I'm using my thumb as a lever. This is my pivotal point. This is the area that supports me while my knuckles are rotating around the circle of Jodi's right shoulder, and then they come up in a lengthening maneuver up the neck to support, lengthen and stretch. This is beautiful on the back of the neck to relieve tension, to absolve any pain which could be causing muscle tightening and therefore constriction of blood vessels, which can lead to headaches and even migraines. And now I'm pushing down either side of the neck, using my thumb to clear the very front muscle of the neck without putting any pressure on the front of the throat. And doing the same on Jodi's right side, this time using both hands at first, around that shoulder, creating some space, moving the pillow, overlapping hands, just reassuring and allowing that muscle to relax. If there was any tension there where Jodi was supporting her own head, then this massage just wouldn't work. It would be too painful for her. So, having effleuraged, I'm using my knuckles into the deltoid, around the back of the trapezius, and up into the sternocleidomastoid. Again, using my thumb as my pivotal point. And I've always got my wrist supported on the pillow, so I'm not straining myself in any way. And now I'm using that thumb over the front of the muscle to clear the way of any toxins and tension that might be obstructing muscle action and respiratory flow. When I find an area of tension, I gently exert a little pressure onto that muscle. There might be a knot there, but I'd only do it once it's thoroughly warmed up and knowing that she's not using or tensing that muscle in any way. I now remove my chair and stand up in order to give Jodi a lovely lengthening neck release. I'm always supporting the head so that she gives her weight thoroughly. Overlapping hands, and then support the head so that it relieves its weight backwards. This lengthens the whole spine, including the neck. And then replacing the towel, securing the warmth so that she knows that the towel is replaced right up to the neck. And then a few long effleurages from the breastbone, across the collarbone, over the shoulders, and up through the head and scalp, each time becoming lighter and lighter. A little contact on the head, closing my eyes, tuning into the energy, and then across the shoulders to let Jodi know the treatment is coming to an end. Hi Jodi, you alright? Yes. Yeah. So you've just had a whole body massage, including the neck up to the scalp, and I'm going to be giving you a facial next, so I'm going to ask you to get dressed and seated, ready for a nice tropic facial.
Okay.
How are you feeling?
Very sleepy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you feeling okay to get up?
Yeah.
Yeah. But your massage was alright?
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any particular bits you preferred, or?
Nice pressure everywhere, but the back of the legs was nice.
Okay, that's probably because you're on your legs, on your feet quite a lot at the clinic.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so I look forward to giving you a facial now.
Thank you.
Hi guys, welcome back. I am Victoria and I'm going to be giving Jodi a beautiful facial today. I am using aromatherapy oils in the massage part, but I'm also going to be using a beautiful product called Tropic Skincare. I'm going to be narrating over the top because of course I'm wearing PPE, so I'll explain everything I'm doing. You're going to hear some lovely music, and then I talk to Jodi at the end about how she feels, and obviously without a mask on because she's having a facial, you'll be able to see the effects of the products on her beautiful skin. Okay, so see you soon and thank you for subscribing. I'd like to introduce you to Tropic Skincare. This company is carbon neutral. It's an ethical brand. They include vegan products that are natural and freshly made in the UK. But more than all of that, they are wonderful products, beautiful on the skin, and I can't wait to show and share with you their delights. Here we have the smoothing cleanser, the vitamin toner, the Skin Feast moisturiser, the choice of masks. I'll be using the deep hydration mask and then a selection of serums. So I introduce my hands to Jodi's shoulders and neck, which have already been massaged, so there is already some beautiful essential oils on the skin. And I now hold back her hair with a hairband and show you the smoothing cleanser. As it says here, it's lovely not only for removing makeup, but also for refining, smoothing and cleansing the skin. I add a little water, warm water, to my hands, and then in upward gentle strokes I apply the cleanser to the face and neck. Working with warm hands, the cleanser is now being applied and working into the pores. This allows the pores to open, to be cleansed, ready for later on when I'll be helping the pores to close and remain clean. These upward strokes all help to lift the skin, lift the complexion, and relieve any muscle tension. Having applied a little more and some warm water, I'm now working into the neck, overlapping hand technique, alternating my hands while allowing her head to rest back against my body. This technique is always gentle. The whole purpose of this part of the technique is to allow the pores to open, to cleanse. So for each stage of a facial, there are different techniques used. For instance, now I'm simply using a very gentle little finger around the orbital bone, and this will help clean any remnants of makeup away, any dirt and pollution that we are exposed to. Jodi's been working indoors all day in a heated room, so there will always be some remnants of a tired and long working day, especially around the muscles of the eyes. And you'll notice that Jodi occasionally purses her lips together. This is a lovely gesture that she does, and it just shows that the smells and scents of the tropic products that she can smell one after the other almost smell good enough to eat, as they do contain some essence of things we would have in our diets, like green tea, coffee extract, and fruits and essential oils. This is the organic bamboo cloth that comes free with every purchase of the smoothing cleanser. It feels so soft. I'm now using the clear slate, which is perfect for skin which has slightly larger pores. And there are 3 different exfoliators that I use with Tropic, and this, if you like, is the middle stage exfoliator. So there is one called Clear Skies, this is Clear Slate, and then there is one called Face Smooth. I'm working the lovely ingredients of Clear Slate into the pores, and especially up into any creases and any larger pores, for instance the temples, around the jawline, the chin, around the nose creases, up onto the top lip, around the smile lines, and up towards the ears. With all exfoliators, it's best not to use them within the orbital bone area of the eye. So I'm simply using it here on the rest of the face, avoiding the eye area and the lips. This product smells beautiful, and it's working its magic to gently exfoliate in a lovely foaming action. The good thing about this one is it doesn't strip the skin. If anything, it is giving back. All of the products are very respectful of skin. They never strip, and they always nurture. I've heated the bamboo cloth again with some fresh hot water, applying a little pressure around the nose, above the top lip, and into the jawline. Having refreshed the cloth, I now make sure that there are no remnants of the smoothing cleanser around the eyes, that the makeup is cleared away around the eyebrow, the eyelashes, and under the eye. I'm very gentle around this area. Less is more. And now for the massage. So this is a mixture of 3 essential oils that were decided on by Jodi and I at the start of the massage, and then I tested her muscle test with kinesiology to check that those 3 were right for her today. And these are grapefruit essential oil, seaweed extract, and rose essential oils. And this time I'm using a symmetrical hand technique, using little fingers and sometimes whole hands in a massage. Now these techniques are multiple, having effleurage the whole neck and face. I'm now using my little fingers in an outward petrissage technique from the line by the nose to vertical lines in a sweeping maneuver outwards towards the ears. And there were 3 lines going from under the eye down to the lower cheekbones, the zygomatics. Now effleurage over the forehead, and again a ring finger massage, petrissage again, symmetrical from the center outwards to the temples. We hold a lot of stress and strain in the muscles and nerves of our foreheads over the frontal bone. So it's so nice to literally have those washed away, have those massaged and relieved. It greatly helps us with things like headaches, eye strain, frown lines and wrinkles. And now very slow orbital massage with a nice acupressure touch to the temples and then upwards over the forehead. There are many acupressure points on the face, around the scalp and neck, and I'm using a few of those here in order to tune into the Chinese meridians, in order to encourage and stimulate the body to self-heal. Again, acupressure over the cheekbones and then over the jaw. And in order to bring Jodi's head into a still point, I'm pressing very gently on the jaw tip and above the top lip into very important Chinese meridian acupressure points, and then massaging them out so that they are relieved. This is the rocking horse technique, using fingers each side of her lips, up to the temples, out to the forehead and out again, rocking between the two. Having done the facial and neck massage, I'm now reapplying a little smoothing cleanser. In order to clean away the massage oil, ready for a mask. So I'm pressing gently into the orbital sockets, into the cheeks, and then under the jawline into the neck with a nice hot cloth. Padding any areas that I feel needed a little drying. So this is a deep hydration face mask. It's really thick, it smells amazing. Deep hydration contains some beautiful ingredients, including rose resurrection flower extract, wild Australian riberries and pepperberries to create a cooling, creamy gel mask that soothes dry and irritated skin. This can feel quite cooling to the skin when it is first applied. I'm using a beautiful silicone spatula, as the whole range is vegan. Normally at this stage, spatulas would include animal hairs or fur, and this one is beautifully crafted so that it is smooth, it glides and retains the coolness of the mask. Personally, I like to apply quite a thick layer of mask, and this helps to create the feeling on the skin that it is being cared for, covered correctly with no paler patches, and that I am not saving the mask for future use, but I am being generous and luxuriant with the mask. There are so many nerve endings and tiny muscles contained in the face that we are very aware, even with our eyes closed, maybe even more so with our eyes closed, of what is happening to our face while we're having a treatment. Our nerves are very stimulated and aware of any action and pressure. So Jodi at this stage will feel everywhere that there is mask, everywhere that feels like it has less. For instance, there is no mask covering the eyes and the lips. And now I make the most of having a few minutes rest with the facial in order to remove the hairband and give Jodi a beautiful, relaxing scalp massage. I'm using my massage skills to bring further peace and harmony to the whole head area, working my thumbs upwards on the sides of the scalp, having introduced my hands with a whole hand effleurage. Now my fingers symmetrically work each side of the head, working up and down the scalp to stimulate and therefore relax. Because quite often the muscles need to be reminded to relax, reminded to let go, because without that encouragement they simply stay in spasm and strained. And furthermore, it's even better to have a massage from someone else rather than treating your own scalp, because the unpredictability of the techniques that someone else is using will further enhance the relaxation, volume, if you like, into the scalp. This is working with double thumbs over the center acupressure line, following a middle parting line. Having stimulated, I then draw a line to clear those acupressure key points. And again, working incredibly gently with all of my fingers upwards in gentle circles. And while I'm resting Jodi's head back against me, I'm very gently stretching and drawing the hair away from the top of the head, and then connecting with an effleurage from the top down the neck over the arms. You can see Jodi here is incredibly peaceful. I often think that most clients will be seeing colours at this stage behind their closed eyelids. And having finished with the whole head to the arm effleurage, I tie up the hair and have a little look at the face to see if it's ready for me to remove the mask. First of all, reapply the hairband and heat the organic bamboo cloth ready for removing the mask. The mask does really smell delicious, and when it's warmed with the cloth, it boosts the scent from the mask, and it really does smell quite creamy and tasty. Jodi's skin is now looking so soothed and hydrated. This mask can be also worn overnight, taken off in the morning, in order to give your skin a freshly hydrated and masked face all day long. Using more hot cloth with fresh hot water, I'm clearing the mask from the areas of the face before continuing with this lovely vitamin toner. This contains cucumber extract, aloe vera, and plenty of vitamins. And then the Skin Feast moisturizer comes in a pump bottle, a couple of pumps each time, applied gently in a pattering effect to the neck and the whole face. I'm still avoiding the eyes, but I will be treating the eyes later. Once I've applied using a pattering effect, I then return to the alternate overlapping hands coming up the neck very gently. That lovely de-stressing move across the jawline, over any dry areas that are normally here for cheeks and nose, the forehead. This really helps with any head congestion, mentally or physically. And now Super Greens. This is my favourite. It's a serum which is oil based, so it's applied after the moisturising cream. It smells delicious. It contains kale extract and plenty of vitamins to help soothe and boost the nutrients of the skin. The chlorophyll and maca root extract and green coffee and tamanu oils. They all make this one my favourite product. It smells so beautifully spicy. When applying, it really feels like you're giving vitamins directly to your face. Always upwards. This seals in the facial. And finally, treating those beautiful eyes with Eye Dream. This can be used at night or in the day. It's a thickish cream. I only use a tiny little bit for around the eyes. I warm it first and then apply with my little finger very gently. This is just around the orbital bone, never going deeper into the eye, as the eye skin will absorb what it needs from the cream around the orbital bone. When I apply this at night, if I feel my eyes in the morning, I feel that the cream has been absorbed into the whole eye area, even though I've only applied it to the orbital bone. It's such a beautiful cream. It has a bluey colour to it. There is a set of creams which also include a day cream with a beautiful Zamac tip, so it's cooling as it applies, and also some under eye masks, which again are gel and cooling, and they come in a set. Tropic products are just so well thought out. And now just a little contact to the temples, closing my eyes to tune into Jodi's energy, the relaxation that we have achieved between us. A final contact to the shoulders, removing the hairband, loosening the hair, and now a little chat. Okay, Jodi, you have just had a full body massage and a facial. How are you feeling?
Unreal. Brand new woman. Yeah.
And you've had quite a stressful week.
Very stressful. I feel completely, it's a good end to the week.
Well,
I can relax tomorrow now.
I must admit to you, I was very nervous giving the facial queen a facial.
No, it was lovely.
I got through it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I relaxed.
Oh, good. Okay. So, what was your favourite part of the treatment?
The back massage was lovely, and the facial, my skin feels lovely and glowy.
Yeah.
I love the face mask and the super greens that we put on at the end.
The serum.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, that's my favourite.
The
serum.
smell of that is really nice.
Yeah. It's lovely and spicy.
Yeah.
Sort of green and spicy.
Yeah.
So, are you all right to go home and drive?
Yeah.
And you're okay?
I'll have the windows down.
Okay. Lots of water.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye, guys.